Hi, it's Tino from Tino Vo Shop. Do you work in a salon where you do a lot of French tips? Have you ever wondered how I do it? Let me show you. So, when it's come to French tips, especially like a deep French tip, just because it's super basic, that doesn't mean that people don't make a lot of money from it. It's in very high demand. And so for a person to be able to just whip out a French tip like this, then they have to be good at line work, like doing straight line, doing curved line, knowing when to speed up, when to slow down, and following our learning journey from YouTube. Eventually, you're gonna get there at some point. But if you are an outsider and if you don't belong to our learning YouTube community where you're not familiar with our lesson, then you might not get there to a point where you're good at line work. But that doesn't have anything to do with you making money off French tip, because there is a way. Now, what I'm showing you is what I'm doing now. And because I'm very good at line work, I have a lot of practice. So I'm just drawing our French tips. But you are not good at line work, then there is a system for you. Of course, you cannot just draw it out like that. Maybe after practice for like a day or two, maybe you can. The longer you practice, the better you become. But first thing is to understand your material. You see, gel polish are thin and liquidy. It's super self-leveling, which is great for polishing the nail. But when it comes to drawing a French tip, then material like gel paint will be easier for you to start out with, because gel paint are more stable than gel polish. So you might want to start out with that. And if you're the type that will paint the whole tip and then take like an oval brush and like erase your French, like dip in acetone and then just wipe up a smile line, that means you're an older nail tech, because older nail tech are dealing with gel polish. I mean nail polish before. And when it comes to nail polish, it dries super fast. So there's no way of you painting the smile line and fill it in time before it dry. So that what people do using just regular nail polish is that they will paint a whole tip like this. They paint a whole tip, and then they will take out like a oval or shading brush, and then they will dip in acetone and they wipe it up. You don't want to do that with gels. So with gel is a completely opposite. You painting it is way easier than removing it. So people that deal with nail polish love to remove because that's better. But then with gel, it's best to draw it out. Now, if you're not a drawer, how you do it is first you need to establish a base. Okay. So I'm just drawing a straight line across from here. Now, base is like this. Let's say this is my French tips. A base is right here, where the bottom of the smile line is at, because you cannot pass it. When you get to here, you start to turn around, okay? See, go all the way down here, turn around. Now, that is your base. And you need to locate your spine. So your spine is like this. I'm going to draw out my spine. My spine, let's say about right here. Now, your spine is a middle point. Okay? The middle point is you're going to go down. And you're gonna start going down like this, okay? You don't just go down and then go right back up, because then that will be like a V shape. You don't do that. So you will go down and then you will go slanted a little bit and keep slanting to a point where you find yourself going flat, just for a little bit, flat. That is when you need to get to your spine. Your spine is right here. That is when you start to mirror, meaning going flat again and start to slanting up, up, and slant. So people make a mistake or people struggle is right here. They not struggle when they're painting like this, but when it comes to the bottom, that's when you experience issue because most people don't know when to turn. They be like, am I turning now? Am I turning right now? And then the French tip will be either lopsided or unattractive because they don't know where to turn. So the base help you kind of navigate where your bottom is at. And your spine is the middle point of your nail. So right here, when you go, you can eye on this. You know that when you get here, you have to stop. So I'm painting. Let me start out with a new side right here. So I'm from here, I'm painting, and I know where my limit is at, and I know where my spine is at. So right here, I probably want to start curving right away, slanting, and I'm not gonna slant right in the middle of the spine because you know that's a bad sign. When you do that, you have to mirror it, and you end up with a V-tip. So I'm staying away from the spine. I'm going slowly down to the base, and when I'm here, I'm starting to curve right here. And that's when I stop and go flat. Because then when I go flat again and then start to slant it up, I now have a beautiful bottom. Okay? That sounds funny when I say that. But now, instead of going up blindly, you can eye on this side. That's why I prefer for you to do the left side first. Because now when you go up, you can eye on this side to see if you are symmetrical. And that requires you to go a little slower. So that's the basic of French. Now, the difficult thing, you already know the base and the spine. The difficult thing is a curve, right? So to start out, I am gonna do this. I'm gonna start out with two simple lines going down. And from here, I am gonna, not right to the spine, but I am gonna slant like this, where it's close to the spine, but not directly into it. And then leave this whole thing flat. And from there, I can now go back, but this time I know exactly when to curve because I already have this structure going for me. So I'm going down, just like this. See, and I can do slowly now because I have all drawn out for me. I no longer have to worry. I can even tailor it. If I want, I can change it a little bit. Like, let's say if I see this smile line kind of broad, I can go in, I can move in and make it a little narrower. I can do that slowly, as long as you know what direction to go. Where to curve is people's biggest challenge. That's why the French are lopsided. And when you're ready, you can polish, but don't polish with the same brush because that's tiny. Let's polish with the emboss brush. I'm using emboss brush and I'm filling it in. Okay, so that's gel paint. That's for people who are still a little heavy on their line work, on their brush usage. And they tend to shake a little bit. And when they shake, using gel polish, that is a big mistake with people that shake. Because gel polish are liquidy. It will stay where you want it to stay if you have control of it. But if you don't have control of it, your French will never be perfect. Okay? So right now when I'm done, when I'm filling it up, things will be more clearly for me. Like I see on this side, I need to finesse a little bit right here to make it completely perfect. And now it's completely perfect. See that? So material is important for people who are fresh in line work. This helps you control. This is faster. It's fluid. But you have to be able to control your gel. This, you can have less control because the gel is built for control already. It don't need your help. It will do it for you. Okay, so to start, I'm using gel pen. That is back in the old day when I first discovered the strategy for French tip. Because I'm an abstract artist. So when it comes to structure, I'm just like you when I first started. I'd be like, what in the world? I couldn't make this perfect at all. And that's when I start working with gel, because working with polish are different. I can just paint on and remove. That's different. But you paint gel on and remove, it's harder. It's harder than just painting it. So my second stage, when I'm getting a little more improved, is that I find the need for gel polish. I like, you know what, I'm sick and tired of just use gel paint on everything, on all 10 French tips. That take a little time off me, and I hate it. So I want to use gel polish, but at that point I'm still a little shaky with my line work. So I be like, I want to use gel pen for the frame, and then I will use gel polish. So at that point, I no longer need the spine. The spine is just the beginning. At that point, all I need is a little bit of this to know where my base is, and a little dot right here to see my spine. I don't need to draw it out. Okay, this is my second stage where I'm getting a little better. And at that point, I'd be like, I'd rather draw it right in the middle. You can draw it from here to here, but now I discover my own comfort zone is going in the middles. I'm starting right here where the center is at. I'm going flat just a little, and then I start curving. My first curve is always very fast because I don't have anything to go by. So I just go whoop right up. Now, this needs to be slow because you need to mirror everything you just did. So from the center again, I go a little flat. You can stop if you like. You can stop and then pick it back up. Going slowly, you can do that. Or you can be a daredevil and go really fast. If you're good, you know, this takes practice. At first, you're going to go slow. But the more French you do, the better you become. You become like a monster right at the end where you just whip it out. When no one knows when no one sees it's coming, they be like, how do you even do that? It takes steps, it takes practice. So at this stage, I'm ready to use my polish to just whip it out right on the tip. I only need my second stage. I only need my gel pen for the frame. I have evolved to a point where I'm ready to use gel polish for my French. So my way, I'm not gonna go in and paint it right away. But what about here and here where it's sticky? I cannot just use my brush to do it. It's too big. So I'm still using, at that point, I'm still using this. But what I do is take polish and I just concentrate it right at the smile line. Okay, I'm concentrated right here. You know, you're not supposed to do polish really thick. But I'm starting now thick because I can take this center and I can drag it up to what is really narrow up here where your client's skin is at. Okay, you can have some hair right here. I have to remove it. Okay, see, you can, not with gel on your brush, with no gels, you can just drag it out. And then now you're ready to stroke it down. But again, you don't need a lot of gel because you already have the concentration right here where you just take the brush and drag it down. And now the whole tip will be nice and slender. Okay, so that is a way that I do it. And now I get to a point where I just show you. I can just take polish and just go for it. I don't even need to, and this is a daredevil way, okay? And until this day, sometimes I do this and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I prefer to do it like how beginner would do it, just because it's easy. But sometimes when I feel like it, I will take this, okay? I will go down This is a 10 millimeter liner brush, by the way, and of course you can use a 20. If you're the type that like longer brush, you can absolutely do that. Especially if your nail is really long and your French tip are really deep. Sorry, I should just go all the way instead of just talking. It's not as impressive. Let's wipe it and just do it again. Oh, and I want to show you this. So when you draw in your frame, what up here is important, what down here is not important. See, it's all jaggedy. Like this, all jaggedy. It's not important because you're going to fill it in. You just need to stick your eye upon this to make sure that it's perfect. Now, time for a little performance. And I already showed you the structures. I can just, actually, I prefer to, you can do this if you can take your client hand and do it like this. See that? This is your your client angle. Okay, you can tell them to flip the hand like this. So your nail from here, it can do like this. That is how you draw from the center, is that I flip the hand around. And from here, I'm just whipping it up. And from here, I'm just whipping it up. See how impressive this is? A deep V. And then I can go in. And I can curl it. Like that. Like that. And I can do it on all 10 nails. And then I can go back and take a brush and just use what I already have on the surface right here to paint it in. That is if I don't want to clean the hand. Sometimes you can also use the same polish brush to go up here, but it might stick to the skin because the skin is up here. It might stick to the skin and you have to like remove it. Okay. And then after you are done, you can examine it. You know, I just do a round French. So I should adjust it until it becomes roundish. So everything is cohesive for you. The lesson is cohesive for you. But that is how I do it now. But just because you see people just whip our friends, that doesn't mean that you should. You should learn the structure. And you know what? You might find yourself not wanting to do it any other way. Like right now, if I were to use gel polish, not gel paint, gel polish, I still find myself now and then needing the structure. Okay, this is my 10 millimeter liners. Still find myself, even if I were to use embossed brush instead, I like, you know what, I can skip the liner. I can just use an embossed brush. So I can do line and paint at the same time. I can do that. But I still find myself sort of like mark it a little bit. Even if I do it from left to right. I find myself going down here. And sometimes I find myself doing this. And that. And I find myself breaking it apart, making it imperfect at first. Just for me to quickly just mark everything. I do it in all 10 fingers. Then I go back. And either fill first or fix first and then fill it, up to you. Like that. All the way up. Or this. You also would like this. See, that's why I switch brush, because using the same brush requires tremendous skill. This brush is sensitive to pressure, so if you press, it's not gonna stay in its parameter. See, if you go light, it'll be thin, but if you press, it'll be really thick. So that's why when it comes to smile line, you might want to fill it first, and then you go back with a liner brush, because a liner brush are delicate. Even if you press a little bit, you still will be fine, and that is when you might want to go back on the smile line. Instead of doing the smile line finessing it with an embossed brush, which is more difficult. You still can do it perfect, but it might be slower. Versus a liner brush like this might be faster. Okay, so that's how I do a deep French. I'm gonna do it one last time for you before I finish the lesson. Okay, and this time, full-blown beginners. Okay. Base, and you might want to do that with every nail. See, if you just do French on one nail, you might not want to do all that structure. If I do French on one nail, I might just whip it out. I don't care if the structure is right or not, you know, it can still be a pretty French. But to do all 10 nails, I might need this. Just because I might go base, base, base on all fingers. And then span on all fingers. And then this one line down. And this line going down. Okay, ask your client, do you want a deep V French or you want a round French? What kind of French you like? And then you do that to all fingers. That's where you can eye it. And then you do this. See half here going in. See this length, half of it. And then this length, half of it. Connect. See? And you can do that to all fingers. And then you might want to fill first. As I say, it's easier when you see the whole silhouette. So you might want to go back, do that to all fingers. And then going up like that. Okay, just fill in the narrow passage right here. And I'm using complete polish now. I'm no longer use gel paint. I just showing you that is the best material to start out with beginners. But now I'm using all polish. And I'm filling that with all nails. And now I can see my imperfection. Now I go and fix it with a liner brush. As you see before, when I'm doing this with an embossed brush, it's a little slower. But now with a liner brush, you go in, you draw your smile line. It's sort of already there for you. You just, going back, but with help this time. You already built the structure for it. All finger, done. And then they all look the same. That's how you do it. I'm still prefer do it. Especially when your client is just chatty. And you just like, why don't you just shut up and let me do it perfectly? And they keep talking. So this is the best way to just, that's the hair right here. This is the best way to make everything perfect. I'm making it deeper for you by going on both sides. And you just leave that bottom alone. You just let it kind of flat right in the bottom. If you making it slimmer, only make it slimmer on both sides. See that? So those structure help me, so I don't have to think as much. It's a little white dot right here. When I have this, something like this, with the little white dot, I'm just increasing my gel to what is completely cover that imperfection. Little accident. I'm not sure how that happened. Maybe I get too excited. See now the French is a little slimmer. You can always keep going and make it slimmer and slimmer and slimmer because you already have the structure. Of course, each stroke that you do, you have to do the same with all fingers. There you go. See now it's in. It's more of a deep French. So that is how you can customize your French tip all kind of ways. And one thing about polish is it's not bumpy. Gel paint can be bumpy if you not control it well. But gel polish, see that? Flush. Put on the top coat all nice and smooth. So by all means, it's like building a house. You just start with your base. That's where your smile line will end. You start with your spine, and then you start building it like a house, like one straight line here. That's easy. One straight line here. That's easy. And then this middle, this middle, this is a middle of this length. This middle of this length. You go in. You go in. Now you have the structure. That doesn't mean that it's a pretty French tip. It's just a structure to show you when to turn to make it slant, when to start curving into the flat. Okay, and this flat is already there, so you just leave it alone. And then you go here. So like this, turn, slowly turn. Okay, and then turn, and then turn. So just finesse it. And of course, with all this going on, it's difficult to see if it's perfect or not. So you need to feel it all in. Because all of this will mess with your eyes. You need to feel it all in like this. So now it's all in. You can see, you can be like, oh, you know what? My base is it still need a little finesse. If they tip you well, it still need a little finesse, you know. Be like that. All nice, be like this, all nice, and then that's perfection. So that is how you do it. And I say, if you belong to our learning community, I say belong, it doesn't take like a subscription or anything. You just learn for free. It's just that I have so many lessons, it can be confusing. But if you're familiar with it, eventually you step up your line work games. And when it happens, your French tip will be automatic. Or you just practice French enough that you just getting better and better and better. But if you are just a stranger who just bump into my French tip video, just know that that's not all I do. I do different stuff. But if you are not good at line work, if you not intend to be good at line work, you'll be like, I don't need to know how to draw. I just need to learn how to do a French so I can make some money. Absolutely can. You just have to follow the structure. That structure is built for people who don't know how to draw. People who know how to draw, they just use their eyes. But people who don't know how to draw, you start to build the structure first. And the structure is made out of simple line, just simple line. And then you start doing a curve. Curves are difficult, but lines are not difficult at all. And then you have a pretty French. And that, just because it's super basic, that doesn't mean that it doesn't make money. It's the biggest money maker since the 70s, you guys. And until this day, it's still making a lot of money. And that's all for today on the basic French. And make sure you subscribe us on YouTube at Tinovo. And everything that I use today is available at www.tinovo.shop. And until next time, bye-bye.